What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show, and today we're actually out here filming a two-part review on this Kawasaki ZX-6R right now. But before we get to that, I know for a fact that there's going to be this question in the comments, and it's going to be something along the lines of, Spite, you hate super sports. The hell are you doing on that motorcycle right there? Well, guys, I actually don't hate super sports, and today I wanted to take some time and clear the airs a little bit and explain maybe my complicated history with old super sport motorcycles right here. And you know what? Let's go have some fun squidding on this stupid hooligan motorcycle, because that's what they're all about. Alrighty, folks. Now this Kawasaki ZX-6R came to me by way of AF1 Racing. They're actually selling this motorcycle, and I had to spend a day on it because I actually really like the ZX-6R. I've had a lot of experiences with it, and it's a ton of fun. And you know, every now and again you gotta step out of your comfort zone. But I did want to take some time to clear the airs about my relationship with sport bikes. Now, before we hit the road, 2 points of order. First of all, you may notice that I have a slightly different second cam setup today. That is because I am using a 360-degree camera on the handlebars. I'm just trying to see how it looks and how it handles and all that good stuff. More info on that. Do go ahead and let me know what you think of some of these goofy 360-degree shots. In a former life, I used to be you know, the man of 360-degree photography. That's actually what I used to do for a living. But our second point of order today, I wanted to shout out our sponsor for this video, Flying Eyes. You guys know that I only rep products if I wear them and if I stand by them, and of course I stand by these Flying Eyes sunglasses. These are actually the Coopers. Normally I wear my Kingfishers, but I don't know where they are, so I busted out the Coopers today. And you know, every now and again you gotta light the tires, and you gotta kick the tires and light the fires, Big Daddy. That's the line from Independence Day. But yeah, just like every pair of Flying Eyes, these are super smooshable and really bendy and gumby, with the thin stems that fit great inside a helmet. And if you want to get yourself a pair of these Flying Eyes, click the link down in the description below and use the code SPITE for 10% off your order. That's S-P-I-T-E. So check all that information out down in the description below. And now, let's hit the road. But first, though, you know, let's do a little sound check here. Yep, that's a 600. They all sound like that. Even though this one's a little bit bigger, it still just sounds like a 600 to me. Oh, it's gonna piss off so many 600 boys. That's okay. Alright, folks, let's get started with a little bit of backstory. So, my relationship with sport bikes didn't get off exactly to the best of starts. You know, I come to motorcycling from cruisers. My first bike was a Harley Davidson. And then I got a Honda 919. And that's when I started to realize that there was more that motorcycles could do. And then I ended up getting a job at a little company you might have heard of called Yammy Noob. And the big focus there was sport bikes. And, you know, when your main focus ends up being sport bikes and you write a lot of scripts about sport bikes and so forth and so on, you do get a little bit annoyed with them. And I think that's what ended up happening. I ended up getting more or less pigeonholed as the cruiser guy and the Harley guy on the channel, and as such, sometimes the character was that I had to hate on sport bikes a little bit. And you know, in reality, I don't actually hate these motorcycles. I think this thing is super freaking cool. Suffice it to say that this motorcycle's really nice. I really like it. But when it comes to super sports generally, I tend to gravitate away from these bikes, and I tend to also push people away from them because they're just, to me, they're not very fun everyday motorcycles. I don't enjoy them very much. That being said, while I don't enjoy them on the street, I had an eye-opening, absolutely world-changing experience when I went to Yamaha Champ School. And they're not paying me to say this. This is just the truth. I went into Champ School thinking that the R7 was just some dorky, uncomfortable, try-hard version of an MT-09. And then I left being like, oh my god, that thing's a weapon. And I still think it is. But what that really did is it changed my perception of what these bikes are, because I looked at them very much in the same vein as your average Harley rider, being like, why is that dude just screaming that little 600 down the street? You know, you could get more torque out of something better, and then you don't have to wake the neighbors, you know? I still tend to think that way a little bit, but I have opened my eyes to what this motorcycle is actually capable of. And I realized that even with one weekend at Champ School under my belt, if I were to take this particular ZX6R here out to the racetrack, I know that I physically am not capable of extracting the potential of this motorcycle out on anywhere, on a racetrack, on the street, on a straight line, anywhere. I can't do what this motorcycle wants to do. And that is really what shaped my perception on these bikes. Wow, this road's bumpy. This is not fun on a bike with stiff suspension like this. Another point against the ZX6R and super sports generally, because I can't stand up out of the saddle. It's just beating me up. Good grief. But my aversion to sport bikes, especially in the street context, is not born out of dislike. In fact, it's the exact opposite. I would argue that the reason I don't enjoy these is because I have this newfound respect for what this machine can do. And I know that the street is just the wrong place to try and use it. You know, this road right here is Cow Creek. And I know this road really well. But even knowing it pretty darn well, I don't feel like I don't feel comfortable pushing it, because this road is, it's you know, pretty darn chunked up. I really want a bike that has some suspension travel. It's closer to a supermoto road. I'd be better off on my Ducati out here than on this ZX6R. More so with these bikes, I tend to see them as built for a singular purpose, and a singular purpose only. If you use one of these bikes on the track, it's unbelievable what they're capable of. They're one of the most capable tools for its singular purpose out there. I could not think of a better motorcycle to take to a racetrack than this 600 right here. Even in its stock setup, for me, it's like perfect. It's perfect. I could have so much fun out on a racetrack like this. I really could. And this could probably be my only track bike. I don't need 1,000, you know? I don't need 200 horsepower. I could barely handle 70, let alone 127, I think, is what this bike makes. Whee! Oh, man. Yeah, they're still fun. These are fun motorcycles, man. They're really fun. They're just also completely out of their element out here on the street. And a lot of motorcycles, you can use them in the wrong context and be okay. But for me, using a super sport like this in the wrong context just feels like self-flagellation. You're just doing it because, I don't know, you really like the soundtrack or something, but there are way more comfortable ways to get the inline 4 whine Yeah, see, you can really get after it if you want. Ah, it's so good. These bikes are so good. I actually, you know what? I think I like 600s more than I like 1000s. I really do. I think a 600, if you're gonna make the mistake, in my opinion, the mistake of riding a super sport style motorcycle, either a super sport or super bike, on the street, do yourself a favor and get a 600. Don't get a 1000, because you can actually play a little bit with a 600. You know, you get to work the gearbox a little bit, and I don't know, they definitely make a lot more sense, in my opinion, as a street bike, if you're gonna make the just masochistic choice of using one of these as your street bike. Oh man, there's nothing like just winding out an inline 4, but it's hard on this bike to find a spot where you can get to 14,000 RPM or whatever. It's hard to find that top end rush, but I kind of like occasionally that feeling of the motorcycle is so much more capable than I know, you know? Little wheelie right there. Oh, right here's gonna suck. Oh, oh, ow. That was dumb. I was not ready for how much inertia my body was gonna create. Aha. I just pancaked my testiculars between my torso and the seat. Oh! Seriously though, guys, I do actually like super sports. I really do. I think that they're wonderful tools for the job, but if you're using them on the street, I think that they're a little bit pointless. I think they suffer from being too specifically niche, and the street doesn't reward niches. It rewards kind of jack of all trades, honestly. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this little conversation here. Hopefully that helps you understand my my relationships with super sports a little bit more. And if you want to check out this little ZX6 right here, the link is in the description below to AF1 Racing, where you can get yourself pretty much the cleanest ZX6 I've ever seen. I've never seen a used ZX6 in this good a shape. Oh god, that's good. That is so much fun. Oh, and if you want to hear more of my thoughts on this, I will have a 2-part review series. I'm restructuring the Day in the Saddle reviews. The first video is going to be my raw first impressions on this motorcycle. It's basically just my first gut feelings as I get on the bike. And then the second video is going to be a fully detailed review, all of that stuff that you would normally expect from the Day in the Saddle. It just should be a little bit shorter. I'm trying to target like 25 minutes for the Day in the Saddle. The raw first impressions will go up first, and then the Day in the Saddle will come a little bit later, because those take a lot more time to edit. So last thing up here, remember, if you want to get yourself the most comfortable pair of sunglasses you can ride in a helmet, Flying Eyes is the way to go. Click that link down in the description below. Get yourself a pair, 10% off by using the code SPITE, S-P-I-T-E, at checkout. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm gonna go be a squid for a little bit longer. I'm definitely gonna squid a little bit longer and a little bit harder on the old ZX6 here, because it's not often you get to just have kind of a consequence-free day of ownership on a motorcycle like this. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.